Hey guys, so we did our L last time. We're gonna go ahead and do our O of our overlapping designs. For the O, I'm thinking we'll do some sort of ribbon that has overlaps in it. Try that out. So to do that, let's just start at the top and make a curve. Okay, so I'm following around my design, but it's not sticking to it exactly. Alright, after I got that curve, I want to have a nice loop-de-loop, so I'm going to come and loop-de-loop and make sure I'm staying on that O. Okay, let's just give it a little squiggle here. Don't go too crazy, we need room to actually draw our ribbon. And, maybe I will curve this one, but stop there, because we're going to have, maybe we'll have two ribbons. We can have our interlocking, overlapping. Okay, so I'm going to make another curve opposite that one. Instead of a loop-de-loop this time, let's make a slow curve down to meet the other ribbon. Okay. So first I decide which ribbon is on top. I'm thinking up here. Thinking about overlap, which one? Okay, I like this one on top, so go ahead and outline that ribbon. Alright, that one's on top and we want to have our overlapping back and forth. We're going to have the other one be on top. So down here, this one needs to be on top. Okay, so let's just make the top of our ribbon here connect to the overlapping spot. And then just come out to be the end of the ribbon. Now you could do a lot of different stuff. If you didn't want it to be a ribbon, you could put a snake's head on there. You could put a dragon head. You could put flower. So it could be, this ribbon doesn't have to be technically a ribbon. It could be tons and tons of things. I'm going to actually make it a ribbon. So to do that, I'm just going to put a V to show that it is a ribbon. Alright, while I'm up here, I'm going to go ahead and do the other ribbon. So curve that in. And come out this way. Give it a little curve. And my V. Kind of looks like little snake mouths, huh? Could be. Alright, this is actually going to be pretty easy. All we have to do is make a line on each side of our guide and make them equal distant apart. That's probably the hardest part. Is a lot of times when kids are trying to make snakes or ribbons, they will have the lines go in and out and in and out. If I'm drawing two lines next to each other, that looks like a ribbon. If I'm going this doesn't look like the body of a snake or a ribbon or a worm, whatever. We need equal farthest apart the whole way. If this farthest apart gets bigger and smaller, it doesn't look as good. The only reason you wouldn't do it equal is if you are intentionally trying to make a smooth different. So this would be like a calligraphic line, a line that changes size. And so a ribbon could be getting skinnier because it is turning. So see how this ribbon turns the other direction. So the ribbon did get skinnier, but it's actually because of our vision of it. It looks like it's skinnier because it is turning. It's becoming 3D. So like if my hand's flat this way, it looks very wide. If I turn it, it looks much skinnier. Same thing for flat ribbon. But you have to know that's what you want to do. Since we talked about that, how about we do it on this curve here? So we will start normal width of our ribbon, and then when we get to over here, we're going to want it to be skinny. So I'll make a little guide. Skinny. So this is skinnier than that. This is this wide. This is only that wide. Okay? So then we're just going to connect. Starts off wide. You turn your paper, that's fine. Gets skinny. You can see how my ribbon is wide here, gets skinnier. And then we can have it widen back out, and it's going to go on top of the loop here. It could go underneath, either way, but I think it might be easier for it to go on top for us. So we'll go back to wide over here. And we'll connect them. Alright, so my ribbon goes from wide to skinny to wide again. And then we're just going to curve it around to make our loop-de-loop. So I'm going to start there and make a loop, an oval. And I'll do the same thing bigger all the way around. Okay, so then we imagine where it's going to come out, right here, right here. There's another interesting thing we can do with ribbon, or flat things, is that when a ribbon is coming and curves in another direction, so let's say it's coming and it's going to go that way, we can actually have it be flat and come out of the flat edge. Okay, because since ribbons are flat, they can curve and show their opposite side. So it's like the ribbon turns, we see the back of it, turns, we see the front of it, and then turns again, we see the back of it, and turns again until we see the front of it. Alright, so I think we could do that right here since we have this zigzag section. So we'll have it come over here and be flat. So it'll come down. And then just make a straight line like you're stopping it. But we're not really. Okay, I want you to be able to see here. Well, it needs to zoom so I can see. Come on. There we go. This corner is going to have the bottom of the ribbon come out. But then you need to imagine the top of the ribbon. So the top of the ribbon's right here. We imagine it coming through, and that's where it comes out. Okay? Be very careful that you don't let your ribbon get hidden behind and you forget where it comes out. You need to have the bottom and then the top. Okay, so let's just follow our curve here. Get a little skinnier, and we can do that. We can do our little zigzag again. So we'll come down, stop, Okay, straight line there. Alright, my guideline actually is kind of in the perfect place already. So this could be the bottom of my ribbon. If your guideline's not there, you can just go ahead and draw it. And then the top of the ribbon is here. It comes out there. Imagine it coming through, and there it is. Alright, and let's just make it follow to finish, because it's getting kind of crazy with the techniques here. Just kind of traced my guideline. I'm gonna follow it. Alright. Alright, and then we are our little V. Finish it off, make it look like a ribbon. Nice. Alright, we just gotta make this ribbon. Let's go ahead and do the skinny technique again, so we can pick somewhere on here to make it start getting skinny. How about right here? It'll be skinny there. Okay. So big, trace until I get here, and skinny. Okay, and then big to skinny. Alright, and we'll just trace this bump. Trace that bump. And I go ahead and make it skinny again, just so it's interesting. I made that one on top, so I guess it's overlapping. I didn't even notice that I had an overlap there. That's okay. It can be overlapping that way. Okay, come down. So we do our turn. Our hard turn. Well, let's get down there and see how it looks. Curve. Nah, we'll just follow around. Follow around. And then come out the other side. Boop. Boop. Right, and then we're gonna V it up there. Zoom out and look at it. Alright, we got our ribbon O. Okay, of course we do not want our guidelines anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase those. Just a little bit here. Give you an idea what it looks like all cleaned up. You can erase your guidelines too. They don't have to be perfectly erased. It'll be fine either way. 1, 2. All right. Our ribbon O. Okay. The shading. Now the shading can be pretty fun on ribbon because it doesn't have to just be where there's links. It can be where it gets skinny too. So again, thinking of imagining the light coming and hitting this as if it's a 3D object. So first easy part, the links. We can shade them pretty much like we did on the chain. Just the underneath ones, get a little shadow. Okay, but then we can think, okay, as this gets skinnier, the light is probably not being able to hit as much because to be skinny, it is turning, right? If it was flat, the light's hitting it all equal. When it turns, it starts to get shadows. So we can kind of add some shading here. So then on our loop-de-loop, this can also be shaded where it overlaps. Okay. Now then where our ribbon turns to show the other side of the ribbon could be a different color or could have the light hit it in a different way. So I would definitely shade either side of that. You could shade the one on top if you think that's not getting the light, or you could shade the one that's being turned. I think I like to shade, it's a hard pick. I think I like to shade the one that's coming out from underneath. Make sure you practice your shading going from light to dark. Hard shading doesn't usually look as good. Alright, so then we have to do the same thing again. If you did it on one, do it on the other. Unless there's a reason not to. Alright, and then we have some overlap here, so this bottom ribbon can get a little shading. Where it gets skinny, again, we can say, okay, it's getting skinny, so it's turning. You can see as I got to the bump, I lightened it up, so it makes it look 3D, like that bump is getting a shine on it. We can do that up here too to kind of complete the illusion that the bumps are 3D and they are shiny, a shiny ribbon. So see, now this bump looks like it's really popping out. Something else we can do to help that is give the paper a drop shadow to make it look like the ribbon is a real 3D thing. The paper, the background, we can add some little shadows close to the ribbon. So now it kind of looks like this ribbon is a 3D thing popping off the page and the paper has a shadow. Do a little bit on this side too. Just a little bit of coloring to make it look a little more 3D. If you can't do the shadows just right, that is fine. I'm just speeding through it as extra. Alright guys, so we've got our L and our O for our LOVE overlapping word.